might get a slight little pullback, but I think we'll get that wick filled fairly quickly, to be honest with you. Good morning, guys, if you're watching on YouTube. We've literally just got in on this oil trade. It's pretty quick, which is nice. Did you grab anything yesterday, Andre?
No, I was still in some trades over the weekend.
Right.
And last night I got in on UCAD. Yeah, had a big move yesterday, I know, but it looks like there's still room for more. So he's just busy with a bit of a pullback right now. I hope that's all he's doing.
I love that word, hope. Hope.
Before it goes back up. Could you hear me, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. It's cut off a bit there. I think it's because I'm just.
Ah, there we go. Sorry. Yeah,
I'm
just
putting the
everything's
YouTube
weird
on.
from my side.
Okay. Okay, we're on. Right, guys, welcome to the stream. Before we go into a top-down analysis on oil and NAS and gold, we'll quickly go over oil. So I've just got in on oil on a daily swing trade. Okay. Now the reason I'm in is because what I've got is you're in a clean traffic range down at the moment. However, the dailies have closed back above this level. Okay. Now for me, you've had a range 2, you broke out here, then you broke back into the range. So this is your second range breaking back in now. So what I've got is, the only reason to break back into this range is because you need to break a high, even if you want to drive down. So we've now got our advantage point, and this is the advantage point for me on oil. So I'm in for the daily. I said with daily closures above here, we're looking to come all the way back up to 80.30, and you can probably extend that as well up to 106.14 if we break out of this wedge. This is the thing we've got. We could just come up to retest around these zones to then come back down if we want to, right? So we're not clear yet as such, but my TP2 is 71.31, so we're going to take some more partial there, and then we can probably let the rest rock to 80.30 or even up to the 106 zones. So that's what I've got. Now my get out of this trade is if the daily tonight closes back below, so if we get something like that back into the area, I'll probably just close out and wait for another close back above. Okay, so these are swing trades, so we trade these slightly different. It might take 4 attempts to actually catch the trade, okay, but it means when you're closing out for small partial losses, and you're sacrificing them losses in order to catch the big move. Okay, so that's what I've got. I'm currently in on oil. Set a light on this actually. So we'll just come back to that tonight. We'll have a look tonight or tomorrow morning and see how we get on. Okay, cool. Right. We'll see what let's see which one looks better first. Dailies close respecting, I think. Let's go on oil. We'll start on oil there. See if we can grab some pips today. So what did we have yesterday? So what we wanted to see yesterday was a daily close above. Okay, and we've had that daily close above. So now technically we are back in that range to the upside. So the monthly is bullish, filling the range. The monthly range currently is 21.472, but whether we can come and fill this range with one candle, I think we can, because we broke some nice lows. We broke the lows. We've got liquidity now to drive and probably break all-time highs. So I do believe we've got the liquidity to do that. So our target would be 21472. Taking buys beyond that though is difficult, because what if we close respecting? Okay, if we take buys above. So we need to see once the weekly closes, the monthly closes above, then we can look at buys. So when we go down to the weekly, then the weekly technically hasn't closed yet, right? So what range is the weekly in? Well, we've got like a minor range here, but the issue with this minor range is we haven't quite closed at it. And then we had a gap. So the thing with gaps is it can really throw things off, because would we have closed at it if we didn't have the gap? Or are we respecting here? Or are we just completely messing all this about? Because remember, this area here, we close respected, but we still come up to tap this, and then we reject. So at one time, this doji candle here looked like that. It looked like this, and if we get rid of this, at one time, this candle looked like this. And then what happened is it rejected and closed bearish. Like that. So that's a thing what we've got. Could we see this weekly now reject and flip to the downside? There is still a reason to come down. We've still got a gap to fill. So there is a reason to come down. But could this weekly pull back to the downside, or is the daily going to flip and fill the rest of the range? So how do we avoid, if we're taking a buy, how do we avoid this weekly flip? Well, what we would want to see is a steep bottom wick. So for example, we've had the breakout, there's the breakout candle, and then we would want to see a bottom wick tapping the previous zone, which is coming down to do. Let me put this on, see what comes up. No, I would probably say we've tapped it actually. Okay, so prices came down and tapped the previous zone. So could we potentially just have a buy stop above? Buy stop above, and we will look where the next zone is. So let's have a look, and every time we get a daily close above this, what happens to price? Well, this is where it's quite difficult, because it's only happened twice. There's one, and there's another. It's only happened twice. So what happened next then? So on this one, he closed at a small bottom wick, and then he flipped and he came up to these levels. Okay, this one you had, I'll zoom in so you can see. This one you had a daily close, and then you had a bottom wick, and then you had a flip to the upside, and you came all the way up to these levels. But just to be a bit cautious, you've got rejection area here. Let's put it on this. So currently 100% of the time, if the daily closes above here, you push and tap 2946. Now I don't know if we've tapped it yet, but that's what you tend to do. So let's have a look, see what's happened. We haven't tapped it yet. So we've got two options here. We could either take a wing back buy in around these areas, or buy stop above. There's your advantage point. We go risk free at this point, hoping that we carry on to the next zone. Let me mark up the next zone. So the next zone is here, because you got this area. So hoping we flip and drive to the next zone, and hopefully come all the way through. So we've got two options really. Now, if we got in on a wing back buy, what we've got to be careful of, we're open to that fake out back to the downside, because the weekly flips to the downside. So for example, if we got this on the daily, what would that mean? Well, that then, what day are we on today? On Tuesday today, aren't we? Could that be the initiation for the weekly to come down and flip bearish? And if it is, we're a bit goosed. So this is the little issue we've got. So we've got to work out whether we're willing to take this risk to get a wing back buy on, or do we play it safe and just get buy stops off the daily? And if you come back up, you should be flipping to tap this zone. At that point, you're risk free. The risk's off the table, and you're hoping to drive. So how can we see if it's worth getting a wing back buy on? Well, we'll go down the time frames. We know the daily can potentially. I'm just going to mark this up here. We know the daily can potentially come to this. Okay, and the good thing about this is, if you have a big pump like this, right, with the next candle, you don't tend to just get that, do you? Come down. What do you tend to get when there's change? You can get that, obviously. You know, you've had a big engulf from one here. But what you tend to get is maybe a small bearish, and then top wick, and then we start coming down. So, or we get a doji with top and bottom wick, and then top wick, and then we start driving down. So if we get this wing back buy, could we say that this is going to close doji before the drive down, therefore we can still get out and manage risk? If we close bearish, that's it, we'll just get out, even if it's in profit, because we're expecting this candle to flip. We are expecting either a small bearish one, because remember, there's the first break there, small bearish one, or we drive straight through, like this one. That's what we're expecting today. But either way, we shouldn't be closing back below this. If we close back below this, could we just say, okay, then we could just get out of the trade? And if that's the case, where should we have stops? Well, the only pullback I can see you get is this level here before the drive up. So could we pull back to that and then drive up? And if it is going to do that, if we put stops below that, if we break the low, then we're not interested. You know, you're going to be coming down to these lows, and I believe stops will be too big at that point. Yeah, it's like 130 pips at that point. So we're looking to grab, that's 230 pips, 480, 750. So yeah, I like that. I like that. So let's have a look at the lower time frames. We've got some areas marked up. Got a forward no bottom wick. If we could close doji on this, we could probably take that next 4 hour. Okay, we're bearish on the 4. Sorry, that was a 6 hour. We're still bearish on the 4. 3 hour is closed doji. 2, 1. 1's closed bearish. Okay, let's have a look at this 1 hour. This one didn't pull back. This one only pulled back to here. That's all I've got, isn't it? So what could we do then? The Meraki on. I'm just trying to find some hourly zones. So there's the hourly zone there. So there's a number of options we can do, really. Is you could just get a daily wing back, buy stop above the daily. There's your advantage point. You've got to go risk free here though, guys. You have to. Okay. Buy stop above off the daily. You could do that. Or you could wait for a 4 hour close. A 4 hour bullish close should initiate the push up. So if this 4 closes bullish, you could potentially just market execute bottom wick, and then that should initiate the push up, I would imagine. But at any point, this 4 can flip to the downside and we can come and give us a steeper bottom wick. The 3 is closed lovely. That's exactly what we want to see, basically. But on the 4. The 2 closed bullish as well. The 1 hasn't closed. If the 1 closes bullish and we get a steep bottom wick, so if this 1 closes bullish and breaks above, like that, and I get a bottom wick, we could potentially get a sexier entry with buy stop above, and you could probably use the 1 hour stops and lower risk, though. You would lower the risk. You'd basically be risking the same as if you were in here with these stops. Because if you think about, we're trying to get in here, right? Let's say we've got a wing back buy here, and we were risking whatever we risk, 0.5, 1%, 2%, whatever you risk, is going to be this location. So let's say your lot size is 5, 20 or whatever, right? You'd use the same lot, but you'd put your stop just underneath for a small loss if it came back down. And all you're doing is you're trying to get a better entry. That is it. But you're willing to risk that small loss in order to get a better entry, in order to come up. Because if this hour closed above, could this be the move? For example, think about it logically. If this hour closes bullish like this, okay, why didn't, ask yourself, this bearish one close bearish? Why did it close bearish? And then why didn't this one carry on? That's what you've got to say. Why hasn't it carried on? Well, the reason it hasn't carried on would tell us that this pullback wasn't enough liquidity to carry on. So therefore, we need to break a high to grab liquidity if we want to carry on. And where's the high? Well, that is that high. You've got another high here. So now you've got advantage points above. And if this daily closes like that, say, well, what you're expecting the next hour? Sorry, not the daily, the hourly. Well, you're expecting to come and break a high. There's your advantage point. You go risk-free. Risk is off the table. Hopefully you drive. But even if price wants to reject now, and you've grabbed the high, you're out of the trade. You've took some partial or whatever, but you've took the risk off the table. Okay, so we could potentially take this hour in 40 minutes. If we don't, we could look at a wing back buy here, or where's the daily zone? So let's say if I just put a buy stop above here, what would that be on the hour? Yeah, so, or you could have a buy stop off the daily, or if you want to take the risk off the table, you just wait for an hourly close above that. So if you get an hourly close above that, then you would just market execute as well, because the only reason is because you come to break these highs, but that's the next zone. You're floating technically. So if you've got an hour close above that, you just market execute up to 29.49. That's what I would be after. I am really interested in these wing back buys though. But I'm trying to work out, how do we get out? So let's say we took a wing back buy here, and the hourly closes below this. What happens to price? Would that come down to our stops? Well, we close respecting here, and we come back up. See how all the answers I get from previous data? I just look. Okay. If I get a close below this, what happens to price? So now we close there, and then you had a fake out back into the area. Could we look at a second entry here maybe? If we did take it, look at that. We could look at a second entry. And the way I do these second entries is, let's say we got in on this, let's say we got activated on this, and but if price pushes straight down, I'd then take a second entry, but it'd be the exact same lot size and same stops as this first trade. So we'd be like that. So let's say you're risking 1% on the first trade. This second trade wouldn't be 1%, would it? It'd be like 0.2%. So your overall trade in these two would be 2%. And then 0.2. So that makes sense. And then all you do at that point is when you get activated on the second trade, let's say you come down, you get activated. Even if you pull back to tap previous support because you want to drive down, you close this first trade out. You take partial on this second one, and you go risk free. And now you've just took all the risk off the table. All the risk off the table. And you're risk free. And you've had some money. So that's how I do the second trade. So that's something we can look out. See how this one's flipping to the downside now. This is getting interesting. So let's have a look with the ones below. The only thing I don't like about these wingbacks is if the weekly wants to flip to the downside, which it can do at any point, it could flip aggressively and not give us a chance to get out. That's my only downside. So look at this straight through. So do we adjust stops to the low of here? I mean, the difference is we've come up and then we're looking to come down. Look at that area. That's a nice area, that, you know. Look at that. So we're in and around these levels. Why did that drop like that though? See, if we got something like this is where we'd have no chance of getting out. Look at that, might be news. What time is that? 2 o'clock is probably news. That. So these wing backs, do we adjust this wing back to the bottom of the 1 hour and take it from there? As that's the hour range, and then a second entry. That's all we've got. I do like that. I do like that. Did we break a high? So now we've got to ask, okay, well, if we do break below this, are we going to drive? And we would get the answer from the previous high. So this high here, did this high break this high? I'm not really convinced that we did. No, I'm not really convinced that we did. So we've got loads of options. We've got wing back buys potentially. These are riskier than just this buys above. Or we could just take a buy above. Buys above off the 1 hour. You can either wait for 1 hour closure, or you could just have a daily buy stop above. Oh, yeah. So, very interesting, guys. We might even have a trade at 9 o'clock. If this hour closes bullish, we will see. We will see. Any questions? Happy with that, Andre?
Yeah, man. Sorry, I missed a bit. I had to jump off, but,
no worries,
but at 9 we're looking at a potential.
We might have a potential, yeah. We might have potential. I'm going to do a top down
I'll be
on.
on to at least then.
Let's do a top down on gold. So we're waiting for the hour closure, guys. I think I'm going to have a wing back buy here, like back buys. And if the hour closes below, we'll look to manage risk. Okay, let's have a look at gold and see what's going on with gold. So, yeah, this is yesterday's markups. And I believe what we had was weekly closed bullish, but no top wick. Okay, and the weekly actually closed respecting. So we haven't actually broke out on the weekly as of yet. And then what we'd identified is the daily was currently bullish. The previous daily was bullish and still in this range. Okay. But then this daily had already filled the range. So I was like, well, we can't really get in because it's filled the range. It's took our advantage point away. So what could we do? Well, we've got to wait for either a closure below or closure respecting. Okay. Now, answer me this. Has this daily closed below or has it closed respecting this zone? That's what we've got to say. Has it closed below or has it closed respecting? Now, if it's closed below, what we would want to see is a top wick and then a flip to the downside, because we would look at sells on a flip to the downside. Now, we're currently on that top wick. We're getting that top wick. So, could we just get sell stops maybe underneath the wick off the daily? So, if we do flip to the downside, could we be coming through these ranges? And the thing with these ranges, this range to the downside is lovely. Like, you clean traffic. All this needs filling. You've got fair value gaps here. All this needs filling. You've got a bit of a resistance here, but all this needs filling. So we are really clean traffic down. So, but where's our advantage point at this point? Because it's such a big range, where are we going risk-free? And what low could we take? Well, the only low really is this one here. This. So I would probably end up going risk-free once we break this low. So for example, you could either get a sell stop underneath the daily, and then as this daily flips, if it flips, it might not. You're pretty confident that you're going to be breaking this low at least, even if you reject. So you could go risk-free at that point. Now, how would we get a better entry though than this? Because you haven't got much to go off there. Let's see, you got in there. Like you have actually. Okay, it's not too bad. These are daily candles, remember. And your stops would only be the high of that daily if it flips. So you just adjust accordingly. Or could we look at a smaller time frame and go, okay, if we get closures back below here on a smaller time frame, would that confirm that the daily is flipping to the downside? Well, yeah, we could do, but depends on what the lower time frame looks like. So let's have a look. Oh, look at that 6 hour. Look at that 6 hour. The thing with this 6 hour though, look at that 6 hour driving through. So we've got to say to ourselves, if this 6 hour flips to the downside now, we're pretty confident it's got to fill this range. 3222, 3218. So could we not just get a sell stop? But it might not. I might not do it, because if we look left, you've got no bottom wick, 6 hour drove to these levels. No bottom wick, 6 hour drove to these levels. No bottom wick, 6 hour drives to these levels. So that's telling us that we might not flip to the downside, but that's not an issue, is it? Because we're not in the trade. As long as we don't get activated and pushed back up. If we do flip, could that be the daily flipping back to the downside because we've broke out? I'm not really confident on that breakout though. I don't really like it. So I do think if this 6 hour closes like this, you could simply take buys up. The 3, 2, the 1. So this is what we could do. If the 1 hour closes back below this level, we could just sell. So let's say this closes like this, but it might not happen in London. If we get a closure like that on the hour, what are we saying price is doing? Well, we're probably confident at that point that the 6 hours is going to be flipping to the downside. So if we do get that 1 hour top wick, come and fill the rest of the range at 3225, but that should be the 6 flipping to come and break the lows. So that's what we could look at as well. So it's looking a lot better on gold. It's just a case of when price gets down to these levels, I'm going to set an alert. Price gets back down to these levels, we could potentially wait for an hour close. The thing is, I don't think it's going to happen in London session, unfortunately. But yeah, it's looking good. I think what we might get, if we get this 6 hour close today, if you trade in New York, guys, and you get this 6 hour close, and you don't tap this, then you could potentially just market execute straight up. That's your advantage point. But you're expecting something like this coming all the way through the pullback. Four, 3. Yeah. So yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. I'm just not confident on that. That's a breakout yet. That's why we're gonna have to wait for either the ones to close back into them ranges. Yeah. Any questions on oil? Happy with that? Nice, but much better, much better. So like I say, we've took an oil trade, a swing trade, so we're in on an oil trade. Let's put that on. Oil. Swing. And now we're just waiting on NAS, really. Waiting to see what NAS does. Is it going to pull down? What time am I on till this morning? If this 1 hour, how is this 1 hour going to close? So if you work out your lot size as if you're going to take this bring back buy, or whatever risk you're risking, we're actually up to 21,472. That's my target. So work out your lot size, and then what we do is if this hour closes above, we'll use the same lot, buy stop or market execute with our stops below the 1 hour. Because if price comes down and breaks that 1 hour and stops us out, then we know we're coming down to these levels. We'll just look for another entry. Yeah. Otherwise, if you enter here and keep your stops there, it's going to be too big. But that's just what I do, guys. You don't have to do that. But yeah, we're looking good. Much better today than yesterday.
There's a bit of a gap there, isn't there?
Say again.
There's a bit of a gap still to be filled. Right?
There's a gap on that weekly. If you look at the weekly, look at that gap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This weekly could flip to the downside at any point. This is the only downside, but the 1 hour, the daily is broke out, which looks good. So this is what I'm saying. If you really want to take the risk off the table and get rid of the risk of the weekly flipping to the downside, don't take these wing backs and just get a buy stop off the daily or 1 hour close above. That would completely get rid of the risk. But what I've done is I'm sort of happy to take that risk for the wing back, and my get out is if the hour closes below. So if the hour closes below this, even though price can easily drive through this area, right? if the hour closes below, below this level, I'll look to get out with the next candle on a pullback, if possible.
So it was 25 cents 6.
So the wing back buy is 26.86, and you've got a potential second entry at 26.17. If you can do it. These second entries are like, the thing with the second entries, they can be daunting for you because price is really powering through your first entry. So sometimes you just think, oh my god, we're just wrong. Why would I take another buy? But it's not. It's just you've got the rejection area wrong. That's all. It's just going straight through to the next one. And the good thing about these second entries, even if price wants to move down, let's say we push down. Let's say this is pushing and pushing. You think, oh my god, straight through into drawdown. It's still push. It's going to stop me out straight away. I can't take another entry. But if you don't take another entry, and then price pulls back, and then closes like that, say, I am now break even on both trades at this point. Whereas if you don't take that second entry, you are still in drawdown from here. That makes sense. So you only need this to that to actually be able to get out of both trades if you want to, and then you could wait for a close respecting and then just market execute if we do respect. If we break below, we don't get back in. So you're taking the risk off the table. That's the thing with Forex. All about how do I lower the risk. Forget about how do I make loads of money. How can I have a huge risk to reward? How can I get rid of the risk? And what are my actions on if price goes against me? And how do I identify the earliest opportunity that price is going against me? Because that's where I'm going to get out. But this is what I'm saying. It's impossible to have a 100% win rate every month because you've got to trade like you're constantly getting the risk off the table. Sometimes you're sacrificing a small loss instead of a huge. You're willing to take a small loss just to get the risk off the table. So this second entry, let's say you close like this. I'm now at break even, but let's say the new candle we close like this. We know we need to get out now. So your wick came down, activated. We know we need to get out now, but what happens to the candles? So let's say we're bearish now. This candle should open up and pull back first, and then we pull back. I'm now in profit. I could take partial from this trade from here. I could close this out at break even and go risk free here. And if I get stopped out, if this flips, so be it. I get stopped out. But imagine if we fake out. What would you be feeling then at that point? Oh my god, we've had a fake out. Got no chance this getting stopped out. It looks like we're going to be driving. So, yeah, that's how we do it. But you've just got to have the balls. That's what I'm saying. No emotion. What does price tell you? Well, price has told me that you can reject from here, and you can also reject from here. You can pop down and reject from here. So, I'm going to look to take them. I want to forget what stage of a challenge I'm on, or where my live account is, or do I need to hit a certain tag to buy something in life? You don't think about that. You just look at the chart and go, okay, well, what does price tell you? It tells you that that's where you tend to reject from. But yeah.
What was the go take partial on this one?
So good question. Good question. That's one thing we haven't done, because what I've done here is this is off the daily technically, Andre, right? So this is what we're saying is this daily tends to pull back to these levels to tap to then flip to the upside. And this is the area where you can reject from here and here. Okay, the full range is this, so that's our target obviously. So on the daily, if we've taken it off the daily, but we're just looking for a better entry on a lower time frame, technically you just go risk free at 29.49. But I know that might be difficult for some people. So what you could do is if the hour closes, let's say we come down, we tap, we could have a look and go, okay. And again, listen to how my mind works, right? if the hour comes down and taps and it wants to drive down, how much does it pull back before driving down? Have you noticed I haven't went, okay, once we tap here, how far do we pull up? How much pips can I grab before it rejects? Could I grab all of them? Could I grab that? Instead I'm like, okay, if we're wrong and price wants to drive down and we tap here, how far do we pull back before we're driving down? Okay, let's say we pull back to here. That's now where my risk free would be. Because even if we drive down, we should tap that before driving down. Then I go risk free. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. We were just wrong, but at least we've not lost any money. So let's have a look. When we tap this, what does price do? Well, we don't want to be going risk free here because we just get stopped out or break even quick. So let's have a look at the times where prices drove down from these levels. And the only issue we've got with these levels is, so if we look at this one, this is actually a good example. So price drives straight through, taps the first entry, comes straight through to the second, pulls back and closes bearish, and then the new hour comes up to this level. So could that be our take partial area? So even if we tap this and we tap this, we're in on 2 entries. Even if price wants to drive down and straight through the range, you tend to reject from these 2 levels and pull back to this. So that's what we'll grab. So at the minute 2764, but let's have a look at it some more. So this one drives straight through. So there's nothing we can do. This is what I'm saying, the weekly could flip. However, this is coming from the upside down, where we're coming. We've sort of done this. We've sort of done this. Down. That's what we're looking at. Let's have a look again. That one taps, flips straight away. So we tap, would have been activated. Then we come back up. We come back up to that. So we actually come back to here. So here's a question then. If this one comes back to here, why don't we just take partial there? Well, the thing is, where's the earliest opportunity? Where's the earliest range you reject from? It's this one. So you've got to go off this one to get rid of the risk. But this is where you've got to decide, well, when we tap this, even if we drive up, we come back down. And that's going to stop me out at break even before the drive up. So do I want to risk that? Could I just wait for this level to go risk free so I avoid getting this tapped out at break even? Look how beautiful this is, Andre. Tap, pull up. You could have grabbed some move out there. You come back down. Look at that second tap before initiating the move. Beautiful. What else we got? Look, we come straight through the zone there. Something like this is nothing we can do. It's just that would have been like a double loss. But if you think about it, with the what is that? That is the hours, isn't it? So the hour closes below. That's where you got to look and go, okay, the hours close below. Do we just close? It might mean we close, and that'd only be you wouldn't get activated on the second one. So you get out could be, okay, if the hour closes below this, we just close out the trade. Wherever we're at, we just close the trade. We were just wrong, we're coming down to stops. Okay, you wouldn't get activated on the second one, this would have missed you. But that's only if the hour closes below that. And that, having a rule like that in, where you've already planned everything. See, I haven't planned, price comes up and we're in profit and we reject me. What do I do then? Do I take more part? It's all about how do we get out at the earliest opportunity? How do we minimize our loss? That's what it's about. So he's a good example here. So this hour's closed below. So do we just close out? It'd be for a small loss. Okay. So let's say, well, actually, to be honest, we would have been in on this, wouldn't we? Look at that there. Tap. Comes up, just misses our take partial move to break even. So what do? We'll just pull that down. and we could just take that. So up, tap, but let's say this didn't happen, and then we had this hour close below. You tap the second trade as well. So look at this. You would have been in on this, and then you closed here. So what would we be saying? We'd be saying, well, let's get out. You'd have a small loss on that first trade, but the profit on the first trade would cover the loss. On the second trade. So you'd be okay. And even if you missed these and then the hour closed back in, you just mark execute because this whole move was a fake out, and then look what happens. Nice. So it is a nice zone. How long till the hour? 12 minutes. Yeah, so that's got to be our take. Partial move to break even. 27.64. I'd probably take partial and then let the rest rock all the way to fill the range. Andre, so that would be 27.61 for our take partial. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy.
All right. And the buys was it 26.80? Which the first one 26.86.
Yeah, 26.86, and we've got a second entry at 26.17. I do think it might come straight to that 26.16 because we've already pulled back to 26.86, so it might need to come and break these lows again. The only my concern is we've already tapped 26.17, so that it might need to break that low basically, which would stop us out. But before we do that, could we get something like this, maybe rejection, to then come down? But it's all on that weekly. I mean, we're in a good area. It's just a case of, is price going to break out in our session? Because we're currently in this range. So we're in this range at the moment. That's where we're at. But these are hourly candles. Are we going to come down, tap, or are we going to break it? We've got an ambush set for buys, and we've got an ambush to the downside set for buys as well. And we're only after buys because the daily's bullish and the daily's broke out to the upside. So unfortunately, we've got to act upon what we see, even though we're aware that the weekly could still flip to the downside at any point. The daily's still bullish. So, and we trade in the day. So we're day traders. So we're expecting this daily to flip to the upside, if possible. And we should know, for the weekly to flip to the downside, what should we get first? Well, we should get a daily bearish close, and we haven't had that daily bearish close yet. Today could be it. Today could be it. This daily could close bearish, and then that would tell me, okay, the weekly could potentially be flipping now. So then we'll obviously bearish the next day. Top wick coming down, and that's Wednesday, there's Thursday, and then, So this, what I do, like Meraki style, is literally reading the charts. You're reading it like a book. This is why it's different every day. Every day is different. You'll have, you're just acting upon what you see on the chart. It's not like you're waiting for A, B, C, and D to be ticked and then you're just in. It's proper reading the charts. And this is why I always say with strategies, you can put any strategy over the top of Meraki and you just see different things, But it's the same thing, but different names. That's what trading is. How is this day hourly going to close here? I don't think I'm going to take it if it's doji, guys. Doji bullish. Got a flat tire under it, and you get the bloody car the guy's doing that.
No.
I think it's got a rip down it.
I hate that.
Like I thought, you know what? The garage is like 15 minutes away drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got drive with a flat tire. All the way.
Don't have a breakdown cover then.
I've got breakdown, I suppose, but biscuit for a biscuit.
Yeah, it's well, touch wood. It's been now a couple of years since I've had a flat tire, but I went through a phase where I had at least one every year.
Yeah.
So I've got good use out of my breakdown assistance. It feels nice when you get to use it, because you pay every month for it.
Yeah, do you know what? I might bring them anyway.
Especially, it's been a couple of times when I've been away somewhere, and they had to come and luckily they're able to fix it, on site. And there's no need to tow us or anything. So that's good.
Yeah, do you know what, Andre? I'm going to do it. Why not? Because I never use them. I always just think I'll sort it out myself.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, I have got it. I have got it with me tunes, but I've never used it.
It's the same thing with all these, these chip repairs, on your windshield.
Yeah.
Get it done. It's free before the bloody windshield crack, and then you're screwed.
Yeah. You're right, You're right. Oh, I'm going for it, Andre. Don't stop me, Andre. I'm going for it.
Do it.
I can't remember
really,
it.
Hook, Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman. Have you seen that one?
What's that? What movie
The
is that?
movie is Hook with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
With Peter Pan, and it's like when Hook is about to shoot himself in the head, like Shmee, don't stop me, Shmee, don't stop me, Shmee,
stop me, Shmee, don't stop me. Class movie that. I was brought up with that movie.
Yeah.
You don't make movies like that anymore.
No.
Right, where is windscreen repair? Windscreen replacement. UK roadside coveted. RAC included.
RAC, good old RAC.
Yeah, boy, I'm gonna ring them. I'm gonna ring them. Let's take hours done. I realise I don't think the tunes are on there.
Hey?
Tunes are not on.
I don't put them on.
Hello, John. How the devil, young man? You sounded like Andre.
Right.
Do sound alike. Oh, what? How are you doing, John?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, we're in a buy on oil now. We've got a swing trade
No, I
on.
can't remember. I just had a look. I can't remember how to fucking work out lot sizes for oil.
Tell me your help.
Yeah, go on then, if you don't mind.
Only if you're getting in on it.
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Good morning, Drift.
Um,
Yes, I'll show you my oil trade. We're in on oil at the minute. We've got potential set up. So this is a swing trade on oil. Yeah. Up to 80.3. Yeah, so what we've got is the weekly still closed respecting though, right? So we've got to be mindful of that. However, the daily has closed into that range. So with this daily closing into this range, what I'm expecting is price now to come and break these highs. At least, even if you want to drive down, you're probably going to have to break them highs. So that's our advantage point at 64.81. My get out of this, because remember the weekly's still respecting, and my get out is if the daily closes below, I will literally just close out no matter where we are for a small loss, and if we get a daily close back above, then I'll just re-enter again. And this is the thing with these swing trades, unfortunately, it might take you 2-3 attempts to actually catch the move up. So I'm hoping this is the move. We come and break
How
these
do you
highs.
work out lot size on it?
What size account have you got?
On 25k.
So I'll put this on a 50k account, so you'll be half me. What are you risking? So I'm currently only
1%.
risking 1% on this.
So what's your lot size?
A one lot, so you'd be 0.5.
One's 0.5.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, on my mate. And we've got potential trades on NAS as well. And gold, to be fair. We're looking much better today. But I just don't know whether it's going to happen this morning. That's my only thing. We've got potential wing back buys. Let's see if there's any news actually. Day we on today,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
there's news for you.
Yeah, there's CPI.
Right.
Half one. Oh. Yeah, looks like we've got to get activated before that, guys. Otherwise, Ishka Mushka. So we're getting our hourly close now, but we haven't broke above. So I'm just gonna wait. Yeah. So John, we've got potential wing back buys at 26.86. Well, we have got wing back buys with a second entry at 26.16. Stops at 25.76 for buys up. Okay. But we know the weekly can flip to the downside at any point, so you've got to be careful. If you want to take the risk off the table, you could literally just get a buy stop above the daily. Your advantage point is 29.09, or you could just wait for an hour close above at 28.74. Once you get that hourly close above, you could just mark execute, because you're pretty confident you're going to be coming to tap 29.49. Because you've came into that area twice now and you haven't filled the range. So you literally could mark execute. You should be coming to tap 29.49 with the target, with the next zone at 21.178 and the target is 21.472. God, I waffled there, didn't I? Not waffled there.
You do love a good waffle though.
We do.
fairness.
We do like waffles, don't we? But a moment on the lips. Oh, you're on about talking? Oh, I thought you meant food. Okay, I'm going to ring, as Andre's told me to. I'm going to ring. I'll break
Come
that
on.
cover. I'm going to grab the other phone. I'll be back in a second, guys. We're still just waiting. Tomorrow, I'll go make a brew as well. I'll go make a brew. We'll come back. I'll have a going on.
Yeah, I've stopped trading the nailer
Have you?
for the
Yeah.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep being stung on it, and I don't know. There's something. I think you're gonna have to kind of wait for the UK/US markets to settle.
Yeah, I think it's because all our testing is based on pre-Trump. You know, and it's just, yeah. So I think I was fortunate / lucky to pass my challenge this year using that, but I've stopped it as well. I'm looking at it, but not right now. trying to improve my Holy Grail execution. I'm gonna jump off for now. I'll join a bit later again.
All right, mate.
See you.
Catch you in a little bit.
Yep.
In the arse these. On my oil charge.
Yeah, I've decided to stop trading the nailer for the minute.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
tracking it mine. So on my trading view, it is US. What there? See if I can move this. Don't think I'll let me. Can you see US 100 capital comp? That's a one. Swift. US 100
Yeah.
capital comp on trading view. US. Oh, sorry, no, I'm wrong. It's oil, isn't it? You're looking at. My bad. It's CFDs on WTI crude oil. That's what comes up as.
Yeah, no, that's what I've got. I've got mine by. That's probably the closest one that I've got for my chart. But yeah, just certainly in the morning anyway. But I am trading. Nella was saying that I spoke to her last night. She was saying that she's had quite good success with the Tokyo session.
Yeah.
So the 12:30 candle close, and then setting trades at 12:30. And she said she seems to be getting quite a lot of 2-to-1s and
Yeah.
3-to-1s, which I did set one last night, and it hit the 2-to-1. But she was like, oh yeah, set 3-to-1 because 3-to-1s happen quite a lot, and I did, and I didn't get the trade, but it hit a fucking 2-to-1 and then came back and did break even 1.5, which I did set at 1.5.
Yeah.
So I did get something off of it. But I've messaged her again this morning and said to her, because she said she has backtested it, but I don't know how far she's backtested it. So I said to her, oh, you know, if you backtested, how far have you back doing it on Tokyo? But she said that the Tokyo session is a lot less volatile,
Yeah.
whereas the UK and US news are a bit wonky. But she does it on gold, would it not now?
Oh, we're gonna
So
pop down.
I have been doing that. But for the minute, I've stopped.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I'm still tracking
what I've
it.
been doing.
But yes, they're really. I'm hoping with the US and China sorting things out a bit better.
It'll stabilise.
Yeah. I rang the recovery there. They were like, hasn't got an MOT, so they can't recover it. Right? So I was like, I said, it has got an MOT. I said it got an MOT. Literally got an MOT about 3 months ago. Not even that. Right? You know what's coming up with your system. But then I thought, well, why would that make a difference? And the guy was like, because it's not roadworthy. I was like, well, I know it's not roadworthy. That's why you're recovering it. It's on the back of a lorry. Why would a car on the back of a lorry need an MOT? What if it broke down and they forgot to get an MOT or it was overrun, and now it needs to go to the garage to get fixed, but now it's going to the garage to get an MOT as well? Like, surely that car's not driving. I said to the guy, is the vehicle going to be getting towed or on the back of a lorry? And I was like, well, surely it'll go on the back of a lorry because it's got a flat tyre. It's got a rip in the tyre. So it's got to go on the back of a lorry. So why does it make a difference if that car's not roadworthy or not? If it's going to the garage to get fixed to become roadworthy? How do I get the car to the garage if it's not roadworthy? If it was roadworthy, I'd drive it myself. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I was like, I'm struggling to understand what you're saying here, mate. Just the world it's just all cons. All insurances are cons. It does my head in. Everyone's just greedy, man.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Like
it's
say, I
because
don't
it's
know
not roadworthy.
Why it makes a difference? It doesn't make a difference, does it?
It's not
What does it
roadworthy.
matter?
Well, that's why I'm fucking getting recovery, you twat. Obviously, because it's not roadworthy. If it was roadworthy, I'd drive it myself, wouldn't I? An idiot. Pisses me off. It's just my head in. Oh. And the thing is, though, when they're on the call, like, they don't care. They're not bothered. Because they're just there for a pay, aren't they? There for a pay packet.
It's just funny, isn't it?
I need to ring the garage now.
You've got to ask what the fuck is wrong with some people? What is going on?
What is priced? We're hardly moving here, guys. I just don't know whether the way we're moving at the moment. I just can't see us getting in a trade. I'll be on till 10 anyway.
Yeah, I've got
I'm just gonna ring the garage. 2 seconds, guys. I need to see why the MOT's not being on the system. Hey, how are we looking? 1 hour. If we can get a 1 hour close bullish, we can look to take buys with stops below. Because this could be the bottom wick of the daily. So we'll wait till 10. Guys, 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. I've just got to sort this fucking out. Yes. Wow. How are we looking?
Yeah, gorgeous.
I'm pissed off for the recovery. Proper pissed off. What nonsense is that? Oh, we can't because
What? They're not doing it.
what if the car was booked in for an MOT, right? So let's say the car's booked in for an MOT today, and then all of a sudden you look at your tyre and you've got a rip in your tyre, and it's got a flat tyre, so you can't drive it there. Surely, if you pay insurance or recovery service, you could get recovery to the garage.
They should be doing that anyway.
I know, and they said because that hasn't got a valid MOT.
It sounds like you need to change your insurance company.
It's going to the garage for an MOT. Oh, I'm pissed off with them. But anyway. 30 minutes, guys. I've got to go and take this tyre off the fucking car now.
To be fair, mate, I've got to shoot anyway. I've got to get ready and go out to Gordon's because I want to be leaving for 10, but knowing him, when I say leaving for 10, that probably means like he's going to be out of bed for 10.
Yeah.
And then I'll be fucking here until 6, 7 in the evening, bloody doing all that fucking paperwork. So, but yeah, I need to go get ready anyway. So I will.
No worries,
I will
man.
catch you in a bit.
Catch you
my
later,
friend.
mate.
Yeah, have a good day, alright?
See you later.
In a bit.
Bye.
Bye.
So we've got news at 1:30, guys. So we've got a few options, man. We've got buys above, but I'm not sure we're going to get activated on anything until New York. And at that point, it probably, because news is going to move prices. CPI today, so you're probably going to get some decent movement, which is a shame because you've got some lovely setups. Okay, we're going to be looking at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock I'll probably call it a stream as well, but we might have a trade at 10. If the hour closes bullish, okay, and we don't break this high off this hour, we can look at buying up with stops just below. But you gotta, the thing with the risk, this is all it is. I'll be using the same lot as if I got in on these, okay, so it'll be a lot less risk. And if we do come in, it stops, it's a very small loss. We're just seeing if this is the daily going to be flipping to the upside. And if it is, we can grab this to the upside coming up. Okay. And then hopefully we can get up there before 1:30, before news kicks in. Which is doable. So we've got 30 minutes. Okay. I will be back about 5 to 10. I've got to go and take a wheel off the car. Pissed off. But anyway. It is what it is. Okay, so potential trade at 10. Back just before. Right, 1 minute on, guys.
that you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night.
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
Right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. Drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there. I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million in dollars.
Choose your fighter. Lightning inspired. Fight.
We're looking, guys. Ooh, okay. Okay, we've got no trade at 10 then, it looks like. But it's nice that we're coming down. These fours all pop through, it looks like. Okay. I don't know how long it's going to take to get down, guys. This is the issue I've got. 10 o'clock. So this is what I've got going on, right? Now, we've got a wing back buy. So buy limit you can put on, and a buy limit. Stops the same here. Okay, you could look at that. Also, if you get an hour close above this level, you should be pushing to at least 29.49. Okay, so you've got that going on as well. If you want to make it easier and simplify it, you could just get a buy stop off the daily. The daily should flip to the upside technically, unless we're wrong and the weekly wants to actually flip to the downside. You've got a reason to come down as well. So yeah, that's all I've got going on really. I'm probably going to leave this with you guys, because I've got to go and sort my car out. Because what it is, I'm going away on Thursday, so I need to get the car sorted for them. So yeah, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. We've got wing back buys from 26.86, and that's probably the most likely. If nothing's been tapped by 1 o'clock, just delete everything, cancel everything, ready for news, see what news does, because news might pop anywhere. We have got an entry on oil, which we're in buys on oil. This is a swing trade. Okay, stops are below 56.33 and take partial move to break even 64.81. You've got another take partial area, which is here. But then I'm looking for, you can even target at that point even these. So that's actually what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a breakout of this wedge. I'm expecting price. This is the liquidity grab, breaking all these lows. This wedge back up, and that now will be the liquidity to change direct. That's what I'm looking for. If not, and price is going to drive down, we've got sells below these levels. Take sellers to come down. Okay, any questions before I go? If you haven't done, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel. Like I say, we're new. Well, we're new for this year. We're back on streaming now. When we were on last week, and we're back on. It really helps with the algorithm, so it's much appreciated. I do apologise about today's dramas when we back in car, but I've got to get it sorted. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous, and I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be on a lot longer tomorrow, so till about 11 o'clock, I would imagine. So yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow then, guys. Catch you later. Peace out.